When I don't do my morning routine, I lack focus, I lack direction. I feel as if I'm chasing my day versus leading my day. That's the biggest thing I would say.
Yeah, me too. I feel agitated when I don't do it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Powerful Man Show. I am your host, Doug Holt, with my co-host, Tim, the Powerful Man, Matthews. How you doing, brother? I was going to do that.
Fans go wild. Yeah, I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm doing great. Getting hydrated over here. Over the weekend, last weekend, I went sugaring. I don't know if you're familiar with what that is, but essentially, I got invited by my brother-in-law who owns land in the States and in a state called Vermont, and tapped maple trees, got the sap out, which is the sweet water, right? And we took the sweet water and we boiled it for like 12 hours. A laborious process, but then you get maple syrup. And it tastes so much better than the maple syrup that you get in stores, just like most things. When it's fresh, it's organic, you know exactly where the source is and everything, and you play a part in it. You know, I got to come home with this jug of maple syrup, but I left at 3 a.m. And so getting myself hydrated and re-energized for the rest of the day.
3 a.m. You usually get up at 4 a.m. anyway, don't you?
4:25. I sleep in.
Wow.
I'm debating about getting up earlier so I can spend more time with my son. But, you know, I like to be there when he wakes up. But I also like to get to the gym early in the morning to knock that out of the way. And so if I can get to the gym, do my morning routine, and then come back, get my son out of his crib, wrestle with him for a while, play. Life is good, man. I mean, before most people get up, I've already had the most amazing day.
So what difference have you found then when you get up later and you don't get a chance to do your morning routine? Because obviously you're not going to sacrifice playing with your son, are you? How have you found that having less time in the morning impacts your day?
Well, you've seen it. So I'm definitely moodier, grumpier, because I feel like part of me is missing. You know, I'm on my journey, right? I'm enjoying the journey as I'm on it. But like my workouts, I know for me, I'll let my day get away from me and I won't I'm less likely, I should say, to go to the gym after, let's say, 2 p.m. Right? I'm just less likely to do it. My son gets up from his nap at 3 p.m. I like to be there and spend time with my wife and shutting things down. You know, previous episode, we talked about people looking forward to shutting down, you know, after 6. You know, a lot of times I'll shut down after 3 and, you know, spend time with them. And that's kind of, you think about what's life about? Why are we doing what we're doing? And, you know, the legacy that we're leaving through the Powerful Man movement is huge. But at the same time, I also have my family, my son as he grows up, and my wife, and honoring her. So when I don't do my morning routine, I lack focus, I lack direction. I feel as if I'm chasing my day versus leading my day. That's the biggest thing I would say.
Yeah, me too. I feel agitated when I don't do it. You know, I have been playing around with different workflows of late because, again, similar to you, typically, you know, over the past year or so, my routine has been to get up at 7 a.m. I'll spend the first 90 minutes of the day. First half hour is meditation, which is just, I love it. Then I'll do some journaling for about 15 to 20 minutes, and I'll do some stretching for about half an hour. And then I'll get my coffee and get ready and go to the gym. Definitely do not have caffeine before I meditate or do any of those pieces. I go to the gym, get back from the gym, and that's when I'll then get into work mode, if you will. Although, you know, even at the gym, once I've had caffeine, I have so many great ideas that come to me. But of late, because I am learning, you know, we're learning a lot about marketing, quite honestly, in terms of growing the Powerful Man movement. What I've tested is switching it about. So after my stretching, instead of going to the gym, I then put a 2-hour block in to do the learning that I've been assigned. However, that then means when it comes to about midday, then I'm scheduled to go to the gym. But by that time, I am so in the zone. I just don't want to go. I'll go anyway because I know when I don't go, it has a dramatic effect on my mood. I'm a lot moodier. My body feels a lot less supple. I don't feel strong. You know, I just hate not going to the gym. So I go anywhere about I was going about midday, but what I found myself doing was cutting my workout short. I wanted to get out of the gym sooner because I wanted to get back to work. So I've then switched that around and gone back to the routine that I was using before, which just works so well. You know, it's so key to have that set. Well, it is for me anyway. And, you know, there's a direct correlation with the guys in the brotherhood who have their routines and stick to them and the results they get. It's just so key to have that. It's almost like a recalibration. And for me, I'm always got space in to be able to reflect. And that then feeds into gratitude. That then feeds into peace of mind. That then feeds into clarity. That then feeds into energy, which then I take throughout my day. And to be able to start my day in that way every day is just huge. And one thing you do that I love that I've not got a real habit around yet is thinking time.
Just one thing? Yeah, thinking time is huge. And it's it's important. It's something that I found as a leader and business owner allows me the space, because look, here's the deal. All of us, anybody listening to this right now, you are not going to complete your to-do list today. Welcome to the real world. As soon as you knock it off, especially if you're an entrepreneur or business owner, it's going to grow. People will fill it up. The thinking time allows you the space to work on your business rather than in your business or on yourself, right? And there's times with thinking time you and I will take out to think about life situations. Like my family, we're going to be moving. We're location independent, which is awesome. But at the same time, being location independent has its own problems, such as we can literally live anywhere. So now our options are endless, and now we got to narrow it down, right? But the thinking time is such a critical process, and maybe we can do a whole episode on thinking time at some juncture. But one thing I think is funny that a lot of the guys talk about in the brotherhood is, and you mentioned it, I get up really early. In fact, I got up sometimes, you and I are 5 hours apart, right? Right now I'm on the East Coast of the United States. Before I was on the Pacific Coast, but you're in the UK. And sometimes on the weekend, we actually reached out to each other and you're like, yeah, let's talk. I'm just getting up. And I was driving, which is hilarious, right? Mm-hmm. But it's different stages of life. And this is what I want the guys to understand. They're listening to this, and why I'm sharing it is because you hear so much. You have with Jocko Willink, you have all these people, Robin Sharma, the 5 a.m. Club. They're all saying get up at this specific time, which I don't agree with, Tim. No. The reason I get up so early one of the reasons is my son is only 2 years old. So he goes to bed early. And so at night, my wife and I have an opportunity to connect, but also I get up early so I can get my morning routine done and get a start on my day before my son gets up, right? He's at that stage. Now, later on in life, when my son decides to stay up later, right, I probably will adjust my schedule accordingly. And that's why I do it. So I don't think it's the time that you get up, like so many of these books are proclaiming. I don't make them wrong for doing it. It's an easy way to do it. And you want to model people that are successful, right? And who's going to argue with, Jocko's discipline? Certainly not me, and certainly not to him. But the idea, right? The idea is to find one that fits in your life. So I get up at 4:30, you get up at 7. But by the time we start our work day, when we're in flow, right? When we're doing it right, we're not perfect. Then we hit the ground running. And that's what I think the men should really take from this, not the time that we're getting up, because I can already see guys penciling this down. Okay, Tim, gets up at 7. How many ounces of, how many minutes do you meditate? Tim? How many ounces of juice do you have? And that's great. You want to model success. And Tim, you've been extremely successful. You're kind of like a spiritual gangster, so to speak, to all these guys, and they should model you, quite frankly. But, you guys, you don't have to model the exact times that Tim, myself, or anybody else are doing it. Just find a routine that works for you.
Yeah. And, the key thing is, it's all about energy management and not time management, isn't it? If you are tracking your effectiveness, which you and I both do, and the guys that we work with do as well, you know what the output that you're looking for, don't you? And you can clearly see where you are in relation to that, whether you hit it, whether you're near or far or whatever. So if you're tracking the outcome, then how you get there, whether you get up at 4:30 or 7 or whatever, that becomes a variable. And in my experience, in my opinion, the thing that gives me the biggest joy in life, which ultimately, what is life about, really? We all, I don't want to say we all, because that's a gross statement, but we often see the men that come into the activation method at the beginning, their business is very much being set up in a way whereby their life serves their business. And, as they go through the process, they come to realize that, hang on a minute, it's kind of backwards. My business gets to serve my life, because at the end of the day, the guys that we work with, they're all committed to living a certain lifestyle for themselves and for their family. And the business is the vehicle that gets them there. Now, for me, part of that lifestyle is having a lot of joy in my life, a lot of it, peace and fulfillment. I value that highly. So in the past, I have got up at 6 a.m. I've got up at 5 a.m. I've tried various different things, and I've always gauged it on how I feel. It's all about my energy management versus time management and consistency. We can all hustle. It's easy, isn't it? We can all push and grind and force and get up at 5 a.m. and do it straight for a month. But ultimately what ends up happening is, unless you are managing your energy, guys often get burnt out because they're managing their time and not their energy. They are ignoring how they are feeling and what their body's telling them and how easy the journey feels, because it really can feel easy. Easy doesn't mean a lack of action. Easy doesn't mean a lack of production or results at all. We've all heard about being in flow. Sports people have been in flow. Sports people who perform the best actually perform the best because they are in a state of flow, meaning you are completely present, you are relaxed, you're making decisions, you're making them quickly, and you're very detached from the outcome and expectation. The same applies to business. You can be in the exact same state in business and within life. It doesn't come from managing your time. It comes from managing your energy. So whether that means for you get up at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. or 4:39 or whatever, you just got to find a rhythm that works for you. It's all about what works for you.
So true. And I think coming with those energetic outcomes of what you want out of this experience and in getting control around that is the key. When I say control might not be the right word.
Flexibility, isn't it?
Yeah, it's flexibility. It's kind of control with flexibility. So that's where flow comes in, right? Is you want to have something that allows you the freedom, to move forward through your goals and what you want. As a business owner, right? The first thing you do, what most business owners, when we talk to them, Tim, the first thing they do in the morning, they roll out of bed and they check their email,
social media,
texts, right? They go right to work mode. Now you're releasing, all these cortisol, your adrenaline coming through your body, and now you're fighting upstream the rest of the day. You're exhausted by the end of the day. You have some drinks, you disassociate, you watch TV, go to bed, and you do it all again, right? Repeat, repeat, repeat. So you want to set yourself up for success. And the weird thing is there is freedom in the structure of doing so. Right. And that's what I fought for so long, man. I am just such an independent person, to a fault.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, you probably haven't noticed that I could be a little stubborn and independent. But, so even with structure, even when I design structure, I'm like, first thing I want to do is break all the rules, don't eat carbs, right? Or then I'll go out and get, donuts or something. Just that. But what I found over the years is that by having that structure of that morning routine, having some structure in my day, I have an afternoon routine, ideally an evening routine. that gives me the freedom to do what I want to do. And look where I am now, managing multiple companies, and being able to chat with you and help men around the world and do work with the movement, work with these guys. And I don't say that to impress anybody, but to impress upon the listener that, like, look, these are decisions, right? These are decisions we all get to make on how we want to live. How do we want to write the next chapter in our story? How do we want to move forward? Because if you're listening to this, right, you're not the average man. You're just not. You wouldn't be listening to Tim and I talk. And you certainly wouldn't have made it this far in this episode. So you're not average. So stop acting as if you're average. You know it's time to step up your game, right? Or otherwise you wouldn't be here doing this. And so I'm effectively calling you out. This is time. If things aren't working, do something to change that. And that can start with something as simple as a morning routine and changing your outcomes.
Hey guys, I want to interrupt this episode because I want to talk to you about something important. We put together a case study on how almost 300 men have taken control of their lives. They're 4Xing their business revenues and they're having more connected and intimate sex, all without sacrificing their relationships or their health by using the activation method. Now, a lot of you have contacted us and they want to know how they're doing it. We put together this short 11-minute case study just for you, so you can see how these entrepreneurs are achieving this level of success. To get this case study, all you have to do is go over to thepowerfulman.com/11. Yep, that's 11. And you can get the case study right now. All right, it's only 11 minutes and it's going to show you exactly how these men have done it. All right, let's get back to the episode.
Yeah, measuring them. I'm always shocked by the amount of guys that we work with in the initial phase of the activation method that are generating multiple seven figures, yet, KPIs out there within the company. They've just kind of hustled and pushed and forced and grinded the result out, which if you're wanting to experience more joy and grow within your own personal life, have more freedom and have a lifestyle, that gets to change, of course. And one thing you were saying before, Doug, and I'm kind of backtracking a bit here, but I think it's going to be beneficial. People can actually become addicted biochemically to hustling. And what I mean by that is, let's say you wake up in the morning, not you, let's say the listener, wakes up in the morning, and the first thing you do is, like you were saying, Doug, you get your phone out and you check your email, you go on social media, whatever it is you do the same thing every morning. As soon as you do that, you will fire certain neurological pathways and also biochemical response. And that biochemical response will be in relation to how you perceive checking your email or going on social media. Let's say that when over the past few years, checking your email has elicited a stress response, then in terms of fight or flight, you're going to straight away be in fight or flight mode. And that will then trigger the release of stress hormones within your body. And then over time, as you go about your day, the more you feel stretched, the more you drink caffeine, the more you view things through that same filter, the more your body and brain continues to fire off those same pathways and same biochemicals. So there is a phase to this where as you do go about changing and setting about a new morning routine and who knows, maybe getting into nature more or meditating or journaling or whatever it is, there's going to be a period of change where it's going to feel very strange because you're almost going to feel like you should be busy. Kind of like the smoker who gives up smoking and then needs something in the hand, so they use a pen. It's the same with the hustler who gives up hustling. You're going to feel like, crap, I need to be doing something with this time and space. And that's just because of the response that your body has been used to. So there's going to be a drop-off. And then it'll get into a new norm of your body actually realizing that this is the new way in which it operates. Having more peace, having more calm, having more joy, which doesn't mean you've got to retreat to the mountains and become a monk. You can still lead your company. You'll lead it more effectively and more efficiently. You can make more money easier whilst having more time off, trusting more people because you're trusting yourself, you're out of fight or flight mode, it's a game changer. It's not an overnight switch. You will have tendencies more than likely to want to go back to the old ways because that's been your predominant state for decades, no doubt. But as long as you know where it is you're headed, you have a strong North Star and you surround yourself with like-minded men who are also going there as well, then you've got a high chance of success.
So true. So true. So Tim, coming out of this conversation, as we think about this, what are some things that a man listening to this could do right now? Give me some action points.
Okay. So the first thing, we always say this to the guys, isn't it? Is what do you want? So I'm going to assume that you don't know what you want and you're waking up every day, you are going into your business, you're running the company, and every day is kind of the same. And all you know is you want to change. So I'm going to assume that's where you're at. So the first thing is to understand what it is you actually want. What's the lifestyle that you want? For you, Doug, you were very clear that you wanted to be there with Bodhi so that you could wake up and wrestle with him. Cool. That's what I want. How does everything else fit around that? So the first thing is getting clear on what you want. And my advice to you would be to include how you want to feel. Energy management versus time management. The second thing, once you are aware of that, is to establish some routines. I'd highly recommend meditation. If you don't know where to start with that, start simple, 5 minutes, do some guided meditation. Just get used to being present. Have a rule that you do not go on your phone for the first 90 minutes of the day. If that's too much for you, do it for the first 30 minutes. If you are going to use your phone for meditation, then cool, do it on flight mode. You don't need your phone to be on to be able to use it for meditation. Start with some meditation. Start with some journaling and get into nature more. Nature is it's just such a powerful tool in being able to ground yourself and be present. So maybe part of that morning routine for that first hour or however long you set aside is the meditation, the journaling, and walking in nature. And then the third thing, alongside knowing what you want and having the routines, is to really have a commitment to managing your energy. You're going to have a tendency to want to step back into that same response of fight or flight and that same energy that you've been in for many decades. You just are. But you get to find the evidence and stack the evidence for this new possibility and this new feel. And also make sure you've got the outcomes that you're measuring there as well. So that if the stories come up that you should be working harder or you should be doing more, then you can always look at the results you're producing and how, you're still producing great results and achieving what it is you want, if not overachieving by utilizing this different way. We talk a lot about there being the dumb way and the smart way. And that's no disrespect to anyone, but, it's very easy to, just hustle and work hard. It's very easy. It requires you to work smart in order to do and implement and live in the way that we're talking about right now. So you get to stack the evidence for how that way, the smart way, managing energy over time, is actually producing the results for you in your life. Because that is going to give you the leverage to continue to do it. Boom.
Well said. Well said. Tim, as always, guys, I recommend re-listening to some of these things that Tim had mentioned, bookmarking this on, and coming back to it because it's something that you want to put in practice time and time again. As you're on your journey and like a muscle, until you build this into a habit, you want to check back and make sure you're on track and make sure you're going. That's it for us, guys. Until next time, we will see you in the Activation Group Method on Facebook. And please rate and review on whatever device that you're listening to this, whether it be Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, etc., wherever you can find this episode, because that helps other men like you join the conversation. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking to unchain and unplug men all over the world just like you. So until next time, have an amazing day.